All right, this is interesting because I'm actually recording this from the coffee shop. And it really illustrates to me the power of mobile computing and where we're at today in terms of educational technology is that it's very fluid and we can do a lot with it. So if you hear background noises, like screaming people and crashing pots, that's what it is. Let's start out. This is lecture one for educational technology, EdTech, or ED 534. So I start out with this photograph or this image of a hammer and a chisel to illustrate the point that ask yourself what you think of when you think of technology. What's the first thing to mind? A lot of people will think that it's a computer, but actually technologies are anything that makes our life easier. We can do things better, faster, and cheaper. So the technologies are very much in terms of behavior related to productivity, input and output. But as we know, using any kind of technologies also has its downfalls and pitfalls. And there's always this seam, which David Althey talks about, a technological seam. That is the space between the innovation, the development and introduction of an innovation. Let's say it's mobile phones or the computer, and the ability of people to understand exactly what you can do with that technology. And I think that in education, particularly K through 12, administrators, the institution itself of education has had a really hard time understanding how it works. It seems like that people's behaviors outside the classroom shape those behaviors in the classroom. It's a question to ask yourself. So we're presented with a range of choices. Many of these are limitations that are placed on us by our institutions. So another question to ask yourself are what are those limitations? Are institutions, educational institutions, K through 12, keeping pace with technological advances? Can using these learning technologies, particularly social media, Facebook, blogs, Wikipedias, all the rest of it, even PowerPoint like this PowerPoint here, can this make us better teachers? And there's another question for you. Can technology make us better teachers? So just looking at some of the statistics, what the population we're working with, it's quite obvious that the 2004 study, I'm sure it's much higher now, but you can see that young people are using these to actually disrupt or impede learning because they're very distractive in our lives. And in often case, for instance, the language that's used in instant messaging, text messaging, Twitter, is that interfering with our ability to teach formal grammar and formal ways of speaking? That's not necessarily the case, that technology makes us dumb. But there's a great argument by Nicholas Carr that talks about Google and how simple searches are changing the way we critically think, our cognitive processes. So our technology is making us dumb. How can we as teachers compete with these new technologies? Or do we want to? Do we embrace them or do we resist them? So the question is how can we take advantage of these opportunities presented to us today? And in this environment of digital landscape of social media, it is incredible the opportunities that we have to share, to collaborate, to communicate, and much of this you already know or have thought about. But our class is going to cover some of this. So how does social media affect education? And just some examples where we're headed in education. iPads, Kindles, that's the future, or it's for many of us, it's here already. So are these mobile devices ways of teaching in the future? So finally, just a kind of a group of things that we'll be talking about. Here's iGoogle. It'll be one of our first exercises, how we can organize our busy digital lives. using social bookmarking tools, using technologies for teachable moments, an earthquake in Chile. Let's Google Earth, find out where the earthquake is, look at populations. We could do a great lesson right around that if we're teaching in that area. Keep me up with the news on mobile devices as well as on websites. YouTube, many of these lectures, including this one, will be on YouTube. Flickr, a place to store photos so you can archive your work. My own blog and links to my blogs, my own website actually in blogs, picture galleries, essays, resume, teaching philosophy, everything's up there on the blog. We'll show you how to do that. Facebook, a lot of my, if you see here, a lot of my sites, if you look at the upper right-hand corner, you'll see all the social media that's connected to this website. Click on Facebook and you'll go right to my Facebook page. So anything I post on that website or blog will show up on Facebook.